Welcome back to Undiagnosed Baddie, my daily 10-minute podcast that we are doing okay, 2026 long. Now, where Undiagnosed Baddie is going to go January 1st, 2027, I have no idea. Hopefully, some of these channels that I have get picked up. What I want to talk to you today about is the pleasure principle. Uh-uh. I cannot sing. Shout out to Janet. Okay, so today's topic is I wasted too much pleasure being celibate for those 7 years. In case you forgot, I do want to give you the definitions to celibacy and abstinence. Since I said celibacy first, we're going to go with that definition first. And celibacy is a deeper, long term, or lifelong commitment to abstain from all sexual activity, often driven by religious vows, personal growth, spiritual focus. Nuns, priests, Buddhists, when you are becoming, in the spiritual world, correct me if I'm wrong, when you start to get certain titles. We won't go too deep into that, but the hoodoos know, right? Hoodoos know. You abstain. What are we doing? We're not doing none of that, okay? So then you have abstinence, which is temporary. It's like I just broke up with this nigga. I'm not feeling niggas. I'm not having sex for like 6 months, and that's short term. And it's just because I need to get myself together. I don't want no men around me. I don't want no men in my space, in my face, in my vagina, right? So I think it's very important for women to understand who they are when they begin to have sex. I think it's very important for women to understand what they like, what they don't like, and what they're willing to accept from a man. There was a time I was having sex with a man. I wasn't getting anything from him. I was like, you know what? Your dick size is nice. Let's just stop. He was like, what? I said, let's just stop. He was like, I'm very fucking for real, right? You have to make sure that you're not laying there like Celie. That's definitely an old reference. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go look it up, The Color Purple. And you're not just getting banged on for the fuck of it. And you're like, oh my God, I hope this shit is over. For what? What are we doing that for? We're not, right? We're baddies at the beginning and the end of the day. And what we have to remember is that we have to demand the things that we want from these men. I am so happy that this person was able to come back from celibacy and not be disappointed. But also in your head, sometimes because you've been treated in the most wild way, because you might have been raped, because you might have had a sexual assault, you're like, I'm good, I'm done, never again, right? That wall is up, we're good. And then you have the girlies that do it because they think that they're supposed to follow it for a religious reason, where they all realize that it's just patriarchy. It's just men claiming that you shouldn't be having sex. Now, this can go two different ways. Men like to pour down women's throats, purity, 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 virgins, 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 virgins. They also like to pour down women's throats. You shouldn't be having sex. If you're doing this X, Y, and Z, you're a whore, you're a whore, you're a whore, you're a whore. So if you're not having sex with me, if you're not having sex with the next woman, then who are you having sex with? Bigger questions, bigger questions. Okay. I am not here to knock anyone's religion. Y'all know I'm not religious. However, there's also, I believe, a time and a place that if we're going to go the religious route, because a lot of people think that, oh, I have my husband, we're meant to be fruitful. The Bible says be fruitful, and you have these 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 children, but we're not thinking about the long term effects of coming from a household with so many children. What quality of life are you going to be able to give your children? Are they going to be, once you have them coming in back to back, can you afford all of The learner's permits. Can you afford all of the proms? Can you afford the college, the trades? What are we getting from that? So I also think on the flip side, when religion teaches us, well, teaches them to be fruitful, they don't teach them the celibacy part for marriage because they want to have more people that are bred into the cult. This whole celibacy thing goes so many different ways when you talk about it. But we can go back to talking about pleasure. Let's talk about the pleasure part of it, okay? We're not going to talk about the religious part of it. Now, when you sit back and think, why didn't I enjoy a particular experience? You have to get to know, learn, love your body. That's meaning doing mirror work. You have to be in the mirror. You have to be naked. You have to know yourself. You have to touch yourself in order to know what you like and you don't like, right? So being able, you can, and being with men, right? Some men might be like, oh, they had a lot of women, but that's because none of the women were returning because they might suck your nipples too hard. And men need to realize that women's body change week to week. So the way you suck nipples last week might not work this week. And that's why it's so important to be in tune to the woman that you're having sex with. Not overly creepy in a way, but you need to be in tune with the woman. If a woman says that's too hard, you need to lighten up. You can definitely tell the skill set of a man by how they suck a titty, right? You can tell the skill set of a man by how they do a lot of things. You can tell the insecurities of a man by how they do a lot of things. And I am so tired of men asking if they dick big enough. Ladies, did the men that y'all are around, have you ever had a man ask you was their dick big enough? Answer that in the comments. Men, I know y'all are like not really in my comments, but I know you're watching because y'all tell me that you do, like in my messages, and I can also see like where people are, like analytics tell everything. So it's like I know y'all not here, but I know y'all here, but it's just like men. Question for you: have you ever taken a vow of celibacy, or I should say abstinence? Because men, there's not a lot of men in this area that I think that would be just celibate for religious reasons. Because a lot of men, and I'm not talking about during Ramadan. We have so many people in this DC, Maryland, PG area that are Muslim. Okay. And when you're not married, you're not supposed to see your stink for 30 days and 30 nights. I think it's a little bit longer than 30 days and 30 nights, but I think it's closer to 45. But you're not supposed to, right? You know, we love a little bit of accuracy. Let's see. But you're not supposed to. You're not supposed to drink. You're not supposed to smoke. You're not supposed to do a whole bunch of things. But y'all do that anyway. Y'all pick and choose what you want to do. But outside of Ramadan, if there's any men that are watching, are y'all willing to share in the comments that you had gone abstinent and why? How long is Ramadan? Yeah, 29 or 30 days. Well, that's what I thought. Okay. Usually from that last moon going into the new moon of spring equinox. Da, 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 da. Okay. So, yeah. I think moving forward with my life, like right now, I want to say I'm in a forced abstinence. None of the men are giving me a reason to be like, yeah, let me bust this motherfucker wide open. Like none. Um, but I'm okay with that. I am absolutely okay with that because I don't want just anything that's mediocre, right? So it's just like when I say forced abstinence, I know those are like two words that don't go together, but it's just like y'all are not proving yourselves worthy of being in my space, having my energy, getting all of the things from me top like head to toe. It's not worth it to me right now. Um there are some, I think I talked about this before, there are some pieces where you can run it back, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not counting that because I guess you could call and be like, oh, okay, but it's just like anything new, like as far as dating, going into it, it's just like I'm not. Men are really, I don't think they realize that them not evolving is causing them to truly, truly be lonely. Like, It's good when it's good, but when it's not, y'all are whack. It's not worth it. I don't know. I don't know, but I guess I'll let y'all know when I get